So you can see this is an hour and a half down. This is a very big tide. The water will have been up to the front of that boat down there. I don't know if you can see out there, it might be a bit too far, but it's white everywhere. It is really rough further out. There's no actual real wind, a little bit of wind, but nothing more than that. This is the trouble with spring tides. So a lot of water's moving. We'll go and take a look over this side. We'll be going out in about an hour. Once it drops another hour, it'll start to settle down again. And then you'll see later on, it'll be probably pretty flat, although the wind is supposed to get up. You see there on the slip, you don't want to be trying to launch from there, or there particularly. You see those waves that I was talking about on another video maybe, that come in there. But even here, you see it's quite lumpy. Once that reef comes up, we'll make our way out. Until then, though, just going to sort of hang around a bit. This is where the tide line is today. Sometimes it actually goes up into the road. But that's on the over 10 metre tides. I don't know if you can see that, all the little bits in the water. This is what I was talking about the other day about, I think it irritates the fish when there's too much of it, like the gills. But it is everywhere. It's been pushed in with the high tide, I think, a lot of it, because with the big tides we've actually see a lot of weed everywhere as well. But we're going to head out shortly. Should start to calm down now. Just been fitting a new pump. So we've got another pump in here. I found a wire which might have been damaged, which might be the charging wire from the engine, so that probably didn't help. You can see on this side as well how much stuff there is in the water. Right, still rolling out there though. I'm going to do a few pots in the bay first and then gradually make my way out. Right, we're suited up and ready to go. Been out for 2 days, because I haven't been out for 2 days because of the wind and the big tides, but it appears to have picked up a little one. It's only got one claw, it's only a little one. Well, it's catching lobster here, so. Well, I dumped in close the other day, so we only bait, so I came and got some bait in the boat and chucked it here. Yeah, that was a nice one. Nice and close in. some shore pots are doing alright. Only thing is going to get a lot of weed in the pots with these tides. On a baby. Little lobster, I think it's on the size. Check in a minute. Finally, for a change, we've got a decent brown crab. Nice one, that. Just separate this one or it will crush everything. Now I've got another set over there, but I'm not going to risk it because these waves that are coming in are far too big. I mean, these ones are okay, but every so often you get the huge one. And I know my pot, my second pot, is going to pull me towards that rock, so let's leave it for today. We'll get it another day. Now, I've never potted in here before, so this will be new. Put a pot over there, but never in here. Simply because it's a tricky little spot to get in and out of. But it's pretty deep here. Considering it's only just off the shore, it's like 30-40 feet here. I know there's some big boulders over that way. I used to fish off the land there. I used to snag quite a lot. Big boulders should have big holes for lobster. Shanker. And they're females, so yeah. Bad spider. Ah, let it go. I'll give it one more try in here. If it doesn't catch, I'll move the pots out. Bit of history here. I fished off this rock with a couple of friends years ago. You'll see it in a minute when we get the swing round. Came down here for conger eels. We caught them. We had some big ones in here, but you have to jump across the gully over there. There's an area, it's about a 6-foot jump, and you don't want to fall, that's for sure. But another thing is, when you fish this, you've got to fish it really when it's calm and a small tide. The water starts coming over, you've had it, you've got an escape up to the top. There's like a high rock on the right, but get it wrong, you'll be in trouble. But yeah, we used to come down these sort of places fishing at night. On the other side I fished. Swing round, have a look at that one. Yeah, this one coming up here, we fished off of that as well. You get some big rockfish off the end out there. But the ground is treacherous here because there's so many boulders that you lose a lot of gear. You need breakaway gear when you're down here, that's for sure. I had a big take here once as well, snapped a rod. I think it was a bass, but we'll never know. In this place here, this is the first place I ever caught a conger eel when I was a kid. I came down and I decided to put some hooks out, like a long line, and I kind of dropped it and it sort of fell in the water in one of these gaps here. You can see it's quite an easy climb down from the cliffs up there. And when I came back next day, I had a conger, about 25 pounds I think it was. My first ever conger I'd ever caught. It was on like a long line. They say after that, several years on, started fishing with rods down here and catching congers at night. That was a long time ago. I was actually thinking back with that conger, the first one I ever had. I always remember that. I dragged it all the way up the cliff, dragged it all the way home, a couple of miles, and then we had conger steaks for dinner. And up this cliff, we used to come round the base of the cliffs, like walk round for miles, collecting old fishing floats, bobbers, that kind of thing, that have been washed in after the storms or got smashed up. And one time we came round and we went up this cliff. I think it was the worst climb ever. The most frightening climb, that one. And I've climbed up a lot of these cliffs, but this one was the worst. Did it once and never do it again. We got not far from up the top there, and we had rucksacks and some bobbers we'd found in that, and basically we ditched it because we couldn't have any weight on our backs because it would have been pulling us off the cliff. We made it alright, but never went going up that one ever again. Kind of funny though, I kind of miss those days. It's strange when you're younger like that, you're kind of fearless. If you can see that, there's a cliff over there and it's pink. Like a load of pink flowers on it. It's this plant, I think it's called Mesobranthium. It's the large fleshy one. I know the Mesobranthium, there's a small leafed one. And the flowers open in the sun, but it's all falling off the cliff. It used to cover the cliff and it's sliding down, but the plants still cling on. They don't need much water because they're very fleshy there. So the leaves that they've got, they hold a lot of water. And it makes the cliff pink. But later on, they'll all close up and won't be pink anymore. This rock just here, I walked all the way around from over that way, and I fished off here for rockfish, for ballan wrasse, one year, and I caught 86 pounds of rockfish. I remember it, 86 pounds in weight from in that gully over the high tide. Then when the tide dropped, I walked back. It was a long wait, but it was fun. This used to be one of my favourite fishing spots, right here. I used to put crab pots over the side, used to catch lobsters, ground crab and spider crabs. I used to fish off of here. I've had ballan wrasse up to 7.5 pounds off these rocks. Mackerel, longnose, pollock, coalfish, pout, but all sorts. Spent a lot of time down here. I used to come down here very regularly to check a crab pot. I used to keep a crab pot over the side. And used to walk around the beaches, like I say, looking for bobbers. Even been looking for abalone down here, although it's not very good down the cliffs for abalone. Probably a harsh environment with all the waves. Right, anyway, I'm going to head back out to sea and try and find some fish, because I'm not finding anything yet. Right, so we're going to try some fishing marks that I haven't tried for a long time. That used to be, well, they still are out here, but whether they got any fish on them. One time I did so well, I caught a lot of fish out here, but it's been a few years. I come once or twice a year and have a look. If the fishing's not good, I don't bother with it. And the last time I fished here was about 3 years ago when I was catching really well. And then I think that winter and summer it got netted so hard that it just killed it. So I'm hoping there'll be some fish back here. Right, this is one of the marks, old marks. Find out if there's any fish there. It's quite deep, so it's about 120 feet or something like that. It's low tide. I think it's pretty safe to say there's nothing here, so we'll move on. Alright, next stop. Now this one, just trying to think if this is the one that normally fishes good the other way, but you need high tide really. You're just after high tide, when it's running hard the other way. But we'll see if there's anything down here. I'm not too hopeful, to be honest. Well, I think that's it. We've been out here now for, let me check, about 6 or 7 hours, and we've caught, well, we've had 4 lobsters in the pots, brown crab and a few spiders. Fishing, we haven't caught a single fish today. In fact, in the last 3 trips, we've had 1 mackerel and 1 garfish. Probably in about, what are we talking now? Probably in about 15 hours of fishing or something like that. Maybe longer. But I think I'm going to start heading back now, because I've got quite a ways to go. And then I think I will leave the fishing for a few days, and hopefully things will pick up.